Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to the October 7th regular meeting of the Albany County Commissioners. First item of agenda is call to order and roll call. Commissioner Gozar?
Here.
Commissioner Hoff?
Here.
Commissioner Jones present. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3 is public hearing. We do not have one this morning. Item 4 is comments from the public. Would anyone online or in the room like to make public comment? Anyone in the room or online like to make public comment? Seeing and hearing none, may I have a motion to close the public comment?
I move we close the public comment. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 5, consideration of changes on the agenda. No changes on the agenda? Oh, Jesus. Item 6, disclosures.
I have none, Madam Chair.
I have none myself.
I have none. No. Yeah. Item 7, approval of the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. On to item 8, present for approval grant application to Wyoming State Historic Preservation Office for the certified local government grant for the purpose of the Albany County Historical Preservation Board to attend the 2026 NAPC Forum. Karen, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. We would like to send 2 of our members to this forum. The forum is held every 2 years. I attended 2 years ago, and it was an amazing forum. We have one of our members who already has said that she's available and wants to go. That happens to be Siobhan. And due to the fact that she sits on multiple boards here in this community, that would be a great benefit to her. So the others are checking their schedule, and I'm sure we will have someone who will take the second spot. Any questions?
No, I'm hoping you get someone else to go. So
Oh, there will be someone to go. We just don't know who that someone is.
And just so you know, commissioners, the $3,100 in match that they're requesting will show up then on your match or on my match next budget line.
Okay. And then the in-kind was just the donated time.
Yes.
I move that we approve the grant application for the Wyoming State Historic Preservation Office for the certified local government grants for the purpose of Albany County Historic Preservation Board to attend the 2026 NAPC Forum.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen.
If I may just make one other comment to let you guys aware, we have the ongoing grant for the nomination for the Lincoln Head. Those contractors are in town. They're starting their work. We had our kickoff meeting yesterday, so that is now in progress.
Oh, great, good. Item 10, or item 9, present for approval request to host Albany County trick or treat at the Albany County Courthouse. Nisa.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. This is just our annual request to host trick or treating for our community at the courthouse. We would also like to include public health. Kim has indicated that they would be interested in joining as well. That would be 2 to 4 on October 31st.
Madam Chair, I move we approve the request to host Albany County trick or treat at the Albany County Courthouse and Public Health.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope we get lots of kids. Item 10, present for consideration the renewal of the 2025 mobile home park license for four-wheeler trailer park. Bill.
Morning, commissioners. Yeah, so four-wheeler trailer park finally got all their stuff in. And, they're ready for approval.
And this one was delinquent, correct?
Yep.
I move that we approve, the mobile home, 2025 mobile home park license for four-wheeler trailer park.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Item 11, ratify Albany County, Wyoming Community Development Block Grant Program Citizen Participation Plan. Haley, good morning.
Good morning, commissioners. I feel like it's been a while since I've been here. This was an item that was required by the WCDA CDBG grant. Jennifer did look it over. She said everything looks okay. And that was the document we had you sign when you came back from.
Okay.
This was just that we weren't displacing anyone by funding this or the
No,
district.
that was the prior one. This one is the one that has specific notice to be given to the public for public input
Okay.
as it's going on. Not a lot different than what we do now, but the grant itself requires this specific one.
I move that we ratify the Albany County, Wyoming Community Development Block Grant Program Citizen Participation Plan.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Bailey, item 12, ratify Wyoming Community Development Authority Community Development Block Grant application for the Laramie Soup Kitchen.
So we have submitted the application. What was in your packets were a very small piece of what was required for this application. I had 36 attachments to this application and all of them are multiple pages. So we did not include those, or else it would have been a little difficult. A lot of them are maps that are required and check the box type things. Ted is here if you have some questions for him, but it is submitted and we actually just heard that we're gonna have a site visit next Tuesday from WCDA for the application.
Bailey, I guess a quick question. Do they award a certain number of these, or do they award a certain number of communities these, or is there one per community?
No, they go off of what they have available dollar amount. When you look at their previous, they have their previous, like the past 4 years since WCDA has taken it over. They have what they've awarded in the past. Doesn't matter what community it's in. There's some that I believe Campbell County or Gillette right up there has had it multiple years. So it doesn't, the city did apply for one as well for their project on 4th Street. I believe ours was less expensive than that project. But I don't think there's a real way they go about it. They look at everything that we submit and go off of what their dollar amount is.
Thank you.
Yep.
I move we ratify the Wyoming Community Development Authority's Community Development Block Grant application for the Laramie Soup Kitchen as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 13, present for approval amendment to the fiscal year 2022-2023 subrecipient funding from the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention and University of Wyoming Survey and Analysis Center through September 30th, 2026.
So I've talked to, with the federal freeze back in February, this grant we kind of got delayed on. So I asked them if we could have an extension and they granted that extension because they have the funds till next September. So I asked if we could, making it easier to budget for, because the next item is actually for Big Brothers Big Sisters to contract with them for this project, to make it easier on them. So it is just an extension of time.
All right. Well, I move that we approve amendment 1 to the fiscal year 2022-2023 subrecipient funding from from the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention and the University of Wyoming Survey and Analysis Center, WISAC, through September 30, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 14, present for approval contract between the Board of Commissioners of the County of Albany, Wyoming, excuse me, by and through the Albany County Prosecuting Attorney's Office and Greater Wyoming Big Brothers Big Sisters for juvenile diversion services in the amount of $49,583.34 from September 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026.
This agreement is for diversion services, for youth. And it, is to be paid out of the OJGDP grant that was identified.
Bailey, these monthly reports, they go to the ACAO. Are those available just for the ACAO, like in the public view?
So to my understanding that those reports actually have to go in this reroute system, that the state holds. I don't entirely know who all has access to that though. Jennifer, do you know?
I don't know. It becomes part of the state compiled thing and it has juvenile information, but I don't believe identifying information. So I don't know the answers to that. I could find out for you.
Yeah, just kind of interested to know. So thank you for that.
What does the juvenile diversion program look like? I'm assuming the county attorney's office recommends someone into the program and then from there, Big Brothers Big Sisters basically administers the program.
Yeah.
And then,
So all juvenile citations in the county get reviewed through our single point of entry team. And then that team makes a recommendation whether they go through diversion or if there's going to be a complaint filed in the juvenile court, which is district court.
and then you guys get feedback as to whether there's success or
Diversion provides updates and progress reports, and the kids have to meet all of the requirements of diversion, and eventually they get like a certificate that they graduated from diversion, which I know is.
okay. Thank you.
I move that we approve the contract between the Board of Commissioners of the County of Albany, Wyoming, by and through the Albany County Prosecuting Attorney's Office and Greater Wyoming Big Brothers Big Sisters for juvenile diversion services in the amount of $49,583.34 from September 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 15, present for approval memorandum of understanding between Albany County, Wyoming and the city of Laramie, Wyoming for creation of a comprehensive local safety action plan.
So, just a couple meetings ago, I brought forward the Safe Streets for All contract with, USDOT. This is the first step to working on that project. We did partner with the city of Laramie. They're gonna be putting a match portion towards this as well as the county is putting match towards this. And, we're all working on this together. So after the MOU signed, that team will then work, on finding a contractor to complete the work.
Move that we approve the memorandum of understanding between Albany County, Wyoming and the city of Laramie, Wyoming for creation of a comprehensive local safety action plan.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 16, present for approval grant application for Firehouse Subs Public Foundation Grant Program for a new snowmobile in the amount of $33,224 for the Albany County Sheriff's Office.
Good morning.
Good
Commissioners.
morning.
This is a grant for, to add a snowmobile to our search and rescue, equipment with, our local Firehouse Subs. They have a grant application that's available to first responders. So, and with our Title III money, essentially not being reappropriated from the federal government, which is what we usually utilize for our search and rescue equipment. This is the option that we're applying for and crossing our fingers and hopefully we'll get.
I move that we approve the grant application for Firehouse Subs Public Foundation Grant program for a new snowmobile in the amount of $33,224 for the Albany County Sheriff's Office.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 17,
Thank you, Commissioner.
present for approval grant award agreement between Wyoming Office of Homeland Security and Albany County in the amount of $215,420.55 for the purchase of new work detection and response zero trust segmentation and Ready Op online platform. Bailey.
This is an application we actually put in back in the spring and we're finally getting the agreement for. So, it's already spoken for. IT has 2 items and then Kate has the ready off.
I move that we approve the grant award agreement between the Wyoming Office of Homeland Security and Albany County in the amount of $215,428.55 for the purchase of a network detection and response zero trust segmentation and Ready Up online platform.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 19, present for approval contract between the Board of Commissioners of the County of Albany, Wyoming by and through the Albany County Court Supervised.
The state team.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Pete. Item 18, present for approval contract between the Board of Commissioners of the County of Albany, Wyoming by and through the Albany County Court Supervised Treatment Program and Bennett Law Group, PC, for attorney services to drug court participants. Heather, good
Morning,
morning.
Commissioners. This is a contract to continue. We've had Patty Bennett with Bennett Law, our contracted defense attorney for our adult participants. She sits on our operational team and weighs in for defense and constitutional rights, making sure everything is protected from participants. So this would just be renewing that contract for 2 years.
So, we approve the contract between the Board of Albany County Commissioners, County of Albany, Wyoming by and through the Albany County Court Supervised Treatment Program and Bennett Law Group, PC, for attorney services to drug court participants.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I was already reading the next agenda item.
And now, item
There you go.
19, present for approval contract between the Board of Commissioners of the County of Albany, Wyoming by and through the Albany County Court Supervised Treatment Program and SCRAM systems for electronic monitoring services for for adult drug court participants. Heather.
Thank you again, Commissioners. This is for our electronic monitoring. We use GPS, alcohol monitoring, remote life monitoring for participants. Per our contract with Scrams, we purchase the units up front and then we just pay the use fee as we go. And so this just keeps our contract active with them.
Is this an ankle monitor?
Yes.
And it does alcohol detection?
Yes, they're separate units. We have one that's just GPS that gives us obviously GPS points. We have one that is alcohol. It has basically a breathable device in the unit and it breathes alcohol that sweats off of skin.
All right. Yeah, I was reading through the fee schedule. I'm like, okay.
Yep,
All right.
absolutely. And portable breathalyzers that they can take with them anywhere.
This also comes, it seems, I'm trying to find the place where it goes up 10%, or the consumer price index, whichever is greater every year,
Mhm.
for a maximum of 20%. That seems a little bit high to me. Did we look at that? Have we contacted them and say, 20% in 2 years is quite a markup?
I did not. I absolutely can.
Yeah, and there was no work around it. It was, at least what I saw in there, it was not a useful piece of that contract for me.
Fair. I will look into that.
Yeah, would you like to table it?
I would. Actually, was that going to cause you some problems? If we
Yeah.
table
No,
it?
our contract is valid through November. I'm just trying to be proactive, so I have some time.
Very good. Thanks.
I saw the same thing and I didn't know what you were currently using. If this is just an extenuation, how long the history's been with this company?
We have used this company for about 8 years now. And I've not seen an increase. This has been the same rates. But I absolutely can catch it. Yes, it's there in case, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank you.
yeah, so we want to table this.
Yeah, move to table item, let's see, 19.
Second.
Yeah, but we need to pick a date.
Yeah, until our next meeting. Is that,
Okay,
Absolutely doable.
okay.
Thank you.
Item 20, present for approval, removal of the wall in the election building and request funding from the Building Reserve Fund. Kayla.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. This is a request to remove my wall from out in the election building to make it bigger and easier for voters during early voting. I have a contractor, Jake has got a contractor to do it under the 5,000. So I'm just requesting if I could pay for that out of the building reserve funds. And he wants to start next week, I think. So
Oh, good.
I know, I'm ready to get on it.
After it's removed, are you going to patch it up or is that?
Yeah, so at the removal, it'll do the patching of the drywall, everything. Of course, if you guys have been out there, the wall on the south side of the wall, there is all of our cabinets and our table, our countertops. So those will all have Anthony and Jason remove those because hopefully we'll be able to replace them somewhere in the building. But it'll open up that space immensely for early voting because as you guys know, the lines are crazy and we've outgrown our building. So this is
How
just
many more
hopefully a way.
voting machines we be able to put in there?
So we won't put any more voting machines, but we'll hopefully be able to put more stations up for people to vote. So it'll make it, I don't know what it's going to look like yet until we can kind of get in there and do it. But I'm hoping that it'll increase the amount of people we can have in there to vote. So
Oh, great.
yeah.
does Anthony know where extra carpet is for that building?
They're carpet squares, so
Okay.
we have extra
Okay.
carpet.
Okay.
Yep.
I move that we approve the removal of the wall in the election building and request funding be taken from the Building Reserve Fund.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 21, present for approval on-site support contract between Albany County and Docutech Incorporated in the amount of $995 from September 6, 2025 through September 9th, 2026.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. This is my contract for on-site support for our microfilm machine that we have in our land department so that my staff and the public can look up things on microfilm. So it's just the support that they provide.
I move that we approve the on-site support contract between Albany County and Docutech Inc. in the amount of $995 for September 6th, 2025 through September 9th, 2020. I'm sorry, I misspoke. September 6th, 2025 through September 9th, 2026.
Second, I have a question, Kayla. Will
Yes.
that microfiche be leaving now that we've digitized?
So we haven't digitized all of our microfilm. So all of our books all of our land documents have been digitized, but when we look up microfilm, it's usually marriage licenses and we look up old titles. So to do duplicate titles, we do a copy of that title. So I have a call into ArcaSearch. I would like to digitize all of my microfilm. So once we digitize all of the microfilm, it can go away. But as of right now, that's our only means to get our old titles. But once I can get all of those digitized, that's the last part of my project that I'll get a quote. Hopefully maybe this next budget cycle, I'll request to have that done. I think I've got about, I don't know how many rolls. There's quite a few rolls, but it's much easier for them to digitize because then we can just send it off to them. They digitize them and then they would upload those onto the system for us. But once that, I would probably go away with the on-site support. We would probably keep the microfilm machine just in the case that we ever had a backup, but I would go away with the support. So hopefully next year that'll go away.
Thank you for that. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
We still need to vote.
Yes.
So, yeah, I second.
Was that, okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. This is a team effort up here.
Sorry, I jumped the gun too. I didn't even look. It was kind of from previous conversation with Kayla. It's like, well, yeah, I have to have this. So it's,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Item 22, ratify ground leaseors estoppel certificate. I don't know if I said that correctly. Regarding the lease agreement dated June 24th, 1964 between Albany County, state of Wyoming and our home.
So what I
Jennifer,
learned,
good morning.
what I learned is in 1964, the county owned the property where Laramie Care Center is located. They leased that property to people who then built the care center. It was an initial 50-year lease. They did some updates in the 70s maybe, and they extended that term by 15 years. And then in 1986, the care center did a remodel and maybe expansion. And at that time, the lease was extended another 50 years. So currently it goes through 2079. Since that lease has been in place, there have been transfers of it between companies that have bought the care center and are operating the care center. The care center was sold, it closed September 30th. And the buyer of the care center requested that the county sign this ground lease estoppel certificate, essentially confirming that there are no obligations of the lessee outside of the $100 a year payment that comes into the county, that we don't have any mortgages on the property. There's nothing that's going to affect their loan for the purchase of the care center and the operations. So because it was closing September 30th, I asked Terry to sign it ahead of time and then for the board today to ratify that certificate. It doesn't extend the terms. It doesn't do anything. It just essentially ratifies the county hasn't done anything with that property. There's no leases on the property. And the terms that are of record in the leases are as they.
Just a quick question. If this new company wasn't to want to sell it to somebody else, is there any way that we can stop the sale of that?
No.
And this doesn't do anything to that ability, right?
No, it doesn't. That we don't have any. Our option in there is merely that it's sold and to be operated as a care center. There's a requirement that I think, don't quote me, but I think 50% of the beds have to be the essential of like Medicaid beds. Albany County residents are to be given priority, but beyond that, we don't have any say over the operations of the care center itself. There is a reversionary clause that at the expiration of the lease, the property reverts back to the county if it's not extended or whatever by that time.
Do we have any liability if something were to happen on that because we're the
No.
owner of the land?
No, they have all of the liability for the facility and the operation of the facility.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yes,
And then the next expiration is 2079.
correct. In 1986, an additional 50-year was added to the lease.
Well, are we ratifying or are we?
Ratifying.
Okay. I move that we ratify the ground leaser's estoppel certificate regarding the lease agreement dated June 24, 1964 between the County of Albany, State of Wyoming, and our home.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 23, acknowledge the resignation of Derek Campbell from the Community Service Block Grant Tripartite Board as representative of the business sector, vacating the term expiring June 2027, effective October 7th, 2025. Good morning, Tracy.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. We are sad to see Derek go, but he is moving to California, and so it'd be a little hard to uphold his board duties from there. But he has served on our board since 2021 and took actually his mother's place on the board. So we're sad to see him go.
We acknowledge the resignation of Derek Campbell, Community Service Block Grant Tripartite Board as representative of the business sector, vacating the term expiring June 27th, effective October 7th, 2025. Thank you for your service.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 24, consider for appointment Chantel Anderson to Community Service Block Grant Tripartite Board to represent the business sector to fill the remainder of the term expiring June 2027.
Hello again, Commissioners. Chantel Anderson, coincidentally works at the firm Derry Campbell is a principal in, and she has attended some meetings and has agreed to step in his place and finish his term.
Move we appoint Chantel Anderson to the Community Service Block Grant Tripartite Board to represent the business sector to fill the remainder of the term expiring June 2027.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Item 25, award the bid for purchase and delivery of 2 mid-size sport utility vehicles or pickups or a combination thereof with 4 doors, 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and acceptance of trade-in for 2 designated vehicles to Fremont Chevrolet GMC for the net purchase price of $56,488 and direct the chairperson to sign the contract. Chelsea, good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. So this is just the bid. We actually received 3 bids. This is the one that we have chosen. We received bids for these 2 Chevy Colorados, 2 Ford Rangers or 2 Ford Explorers. We were going between the Rangers and the Colorados, and they're really one and the same. They're really comparable. This one came in underbid, so we picked this one.
I know.
Wow. Yeah.
I have nothing. I move that we award the bid for the purchase of 2 pickups with 4 doors and 4-wheel drive, and acceptance of trade-in for the 2 designated vehicles at Fremont Chevrolet GMC for the net purchase price of $56,488 and direct the chairperson to sign the contract.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you.
Does anybody have I never see any Laramie dealers bidding for the RFP.
Do you have anybody from Laramie?
I did not, but I actually, when I was trying to look between the 2, I went to Ford and I went to GMC and I talked to the people and encouraged them to pay attention. So
Thank you, Chelsea.
maybe because
We
I
used
would
to
love to
get
spend
them.
it local.
GM used to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we had bids from
They
GM
really
for
don't
a
have
long
a
time.
fleet person in it anymore.
And that might be
And
why,
And-
yeah.
I don't know that it's
They-
geared to their business.
They
model.
don't bid on stuff for weed and pest either. So,
Which
I
is
mean,
crazy.
they're
because
just
they
not
used
doing
to
it.
be one of our top bidders.
Yeah.
That Laramie GM did back.
So, yeah, that seems odd to me,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
So Ford seemed interested. I gave them my phone number, so we'll see.
Thank
But
you, Chelsea.
yeah,
maybe in the future.
maybe.
Item 26, executive session. Did I skip one?
Nope.
Okay. Executive session pursuant to Wyoming statute 16-4-405A triple I.
Madam Chair, I move that we enter into executive session pursuant to Wyoming statute 16 subsection 405A triple I at 10:04.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Go into executive session. Jerry, thank you.
Thank
Good to see you.
Have a good morning.
Great.
It's a good thing, right? It's a little bit warm outside. We're not gonna freeze to death.
You guys have more fun at the city meetings.
It was, but it's something that we do.
Well, like we cooked for that meeting.
That's cooler.
I don't know what you gotta do up there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I need to. May I have a motion to return to regular session?
So moved at, do you need move to exit executive session pursuant Wyoming statute 16-4-405A triple I at 10:31 a.m.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 29, action.
Madam Chair, I move that we sign the agreement to stay proceedings in the case discussed in executive session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 30, approve vouchers for September 2025.
Madam Chair, I move we approve the vouchers for September 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 31, adjourn. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Seeing no, I just lost it.
All those in favor?
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I got stuck on no further business.
And today, apparently, if I second something, I don't feel like I have to vote on anything. So.
There are days like that. You're not being unusual at all.
Okay.